Number 68. Number 68 tells us at a certain instant in time, the number of cars n traveling on a portion of a certain highway can be estimated by this formula. N equals 20 LD over 600 plus s squared. Okay, so this is going to be a question that is going to require you to keep track of a lot of different variables. Let's list them all of them out. So we have n, which is what we're going to be looking for, with L, D, and S. And let's remember what each of these are. So L is going to be the number of lanes. D is going to be, what is D? D is going to be length of highway in feet. This is important. It's in feet. And S is going to be the average speed of the cars in miles per hour. So speed, miles per hour. Okay. They also tell us that 5280 feet equals 1 mile. Great. And then they give us the values of each of these. So L, and then they give us D, and they give us S. So L, they give us, they tell us that there are 2 lanes. D, for the length, tell us that it's half a mile. Half a mile, we know a mile is 5280, so half a mile would equal 5280 divided by 2, 2640. And they give us S, and they say that S is, average speed is 40. So let's plug these into the equation and solve for n. So we get n equals 20 times 2 times 2640 over 600 plus s squared. S is 40. 40 squared, 1600. And that, on the bottom, it adds up to 2200. So let's do that first. Okay. First thing I would do here is actually do some canceling. So 20 goes into the 200, or 20 goes into 2200 110 times. Let's cancel that out. And 2 goes into 110 55 times. And then let's do some division. 26405 goes into 264. How many times? 4, I believe. So that gets you 440, and that goes into it 440, 55, 8. Gets you 440. So the answer is going to be 48. And 48 is answer choice D. As you can see, for number 69, I've already taken this graph and placed it here. I tried drawing it myself, but you know, it just took a lot of time to get all the lines straight. And really, the little nuances in how close these bars are to certain lines, I mean, it's super important. So this is straight from the source. Okay, it says, according to the chart shown, which of the following is closest to the median annual number of shipments of manufactured homes in the U.S. for the years from 1990 to 2000. Okay, and then they give us the 5 answer choices. A, they say, is 250,000, and then 280,000, 310, 325, and 340. Okay, let's see here. How do we solve this? Well, when you encounter a problem like this, I mean, I think the best thing to do is to actually visually sort these from highest to lowest in your head and just cross them out in your mind. You can try to draw it on your scratch paper when you take the actual test. But let's see. Let's count from highest. Let's count one low and one high, one low and one high, and see which one we end up with, and then estimate. So the lowest is going to be this one here. So let's cross that out. And the highest is 1998. So it's not going to be 1998. Okay. Now let's see what the second lowest is. Second lowest is 1990. Second highest appears to be 1996. And then you just keep doing that. And next lowest is this one. Next highest is this one. Next lowest is this one. Next highest is this one. You're left with 1994. Now we see that it's slightly more than 300,000. Which one is slightly more than 300K? It's probably going to be either C or D. Now 325, this is going to be 350. 325 is going to be half of that. So 325 is actually going to be a little bit higher. Whereas 310 looks like it might actually be the correct answer. So if I were to guess, I would say that the answer is C. All right, now let's continue to number 70. And number 70 says, if y times 3x minus 5 over 2 equals y, and y doesn't equal 0, then x equals what? Isolate the x, of course. 3x minus 5 over 2, we simply divide both sides by y, and you get 1. So 3x minus 5 over 2 equals 1. Do some cross multiplication. 3x minus 5 equals 2, and then add 5 to both sides. 3x equals 7. X equals 7 over 3. That's answer choice C. 71. If x plus 5 is greater than 2 and x minus 3 is less than 7, x must be between what? And they tell us that A is -3 and 10, B is -3 and 4, C is 2 and 7, D is 3 and 4, and E is 3 and 10. Okay, inequality, you just treat the sign as an equal sign. So x is basically, it's the same as saying x plus 5 equals 2. Let's just ignore that sign until we finish the getting x on its own side. So that if you subtract 5 from both sides, you would get x is greater than 2 minus 5, which is x is greater than -3. Okay, so we know x is going to be greater than -3. Let's eliminate C and D and E. Second part of the equation, x minus 3 is less than 7. Add 3 to both sides, and you get x is less than 10. Eliminates B, and we have our answer, which is A. Number 72. A gym class can be divided into 8 teams with an equal number of players on each team, or 12 teams with an equal number of players on each team. What is the lowest possible number of students in the class? So lowest possible students. Okay, so however many students, the lowest possible students, it has to be divisible, or it has to be able to be separated into both 12 teams and 8 teams. This is what's called a this is called a lowest common, I think lowest common multiple. Where you're trying to find the lowest common multiple, perhaps, of 8 and 12, or at least the factors within 8 and 12, what that lowest, well, let me think about how I would go about doing this. Maybe we are going to look for factors. Let's see, lowest possible number of students. It means that if you place them on 8 teams and 12 teams, okay, here's how I would do it. Okay, we know that 8, if you factor 8, you're going to get 2 and 2 and 2, right? Because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. Those are its most simple factors. With 12, you get 3 times 4, and 4 is 2 times 2. So you get 3, 2, and 2. There are 3 2's here and 2 2's here, but then there's a 3 that isn't here. So whatever the number of possible students are, they must be able to accompany both a team of 8 and a team of 3. So then 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 would get you 4, 8, 24. And let's see if that would work. So if you had 8 teams, there would be 3 people on each team of 8. With 24, there would be 12 teams of 2 each. So 24 appears to be the answer. Let's see. Yes, 24 is B, and that is the answer. 73 says if R equals 0.345, oh, I like where this one is going, and S equals 0.345 squared, and T equals the square root of 0.345, what is the correct ordering of R, S, and T? And for the answer choices, they give us, like R is less than S, is less than T, or R is less than T, or less than S, etc. So we have to find out which one is the correct one. Okay, just looking at these, which one is the largest? Well, imagine if this was an integer, if it didn't have that decimal. And clearly when you square it, it would be bigger, and when you take the square root of it, it would be smaller. So it would be T is smaller than R, smaller than S. However, since we do have a decimal, you have to remember that when you multiply a decimal by another by itself, you're actually going to get a smaller number. So what's actually the correct answer is it's actually going to be reversed. When you take a square root of a decimal, you're actually going to be increasing its size. So it would actually look like T is greater than R is greater than S. And let's see if that's one of the answer choices. That is answer choice. Oh, well, they have it written. Okay, so it's answer choice D, but they have it written as S is smaller than R, smaller than T, which is basically the same. It's just, their little Pac-Man symbol here is facing the opposite direction. But the answer is D. Number 74. Total of N trucks and cars. So trucks plus cars equals N. N trucks and cars are parked in a lot. The number of cars is a fourth number of trucks. So C equals 1/4 trucks. And 2/3 of the trucks are pickups. So pickups equals 2/3 trucks. How many pickups in terms of N are parked in the lot? So P equals what? All right. How do we do this? Okay. See, T plus C equals N. C equals 1/4 T. So basically it's saying T plus 1/4 T equals N. That's the same as saying 4/4. 4 plus 1 is 5/4. T equals N. Now let's turn that T into a P, and we have this equation to help us do it. All right. So T is the same as 3 to P. And we know this because we just cross multiply. Then we plug the T into here, and we get 5 times 3 is 15. 4 times 2 is 8. 15/8 P equals N. Then we solve for P by, again, cross multiplying, and you get P equals 8/15N. And that is answer choice D. I'm all out of time, so I'll see you in the next video.